This is a month of deep change. We are in the heart of the paradigm shift. I know you're feeling the turbulence, the volatility. We have celestial storms coming, 3 eclipses, and we are going to get a little bit more chaotic before things settle out and we see a clear road ahead. You are being called to pull in instead of push forward. Be centered within the storm. Be the eye of the storm to really know what's true for you. To get off the emotional roller coaster, deepen your devotion, and to wait to make important decisions until the storm has passed. Hi, I'm Prema Gurreri, and welcome to Chart Your Path. I'm here to help you to activate your high-value divine gifts, fully align with your purpose. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, share this, like this, so that you don't miss any of my updates. I'm here to help you to continue to chart your path. So, wow. Huge amount of change this month. We have some celestial storms. They're called eclipses. We have a run of 3 eclipses. Normally we only have 2 that are 2 weeks apart. This time we've got 3. We've got 2 this month on the 4th, on the 5th, and on the 20th and 21st, depending on where you are in the world. We also have a Mercury Retrograde, and then on July 4th, Independence Day in the United States, we have yet another eclipse. Whew. This is just a lot of movement. Eclipses are like celestial storms. They tend to be, the months with eclipses tend to be more volatile. You're seeing that already. They're felt even before that time. And we have some other influences playing into the volatility as well. They are these celestial storms. They cast a shadow. You cannot see clearly in a storm. It's hard to see all your choices in a storm. And unexpected changes happen during this time. It's really good to not make big decisions until the time has passed. And these eclipses will sort of put that internal pressure on you where you might feel like, oh, I've got to make this choice. I'm going to tell you how to navigate all that, because that's not how you want to roll with this. You want to be centered. You want to move from the inside out. You want to be able to really know your truth and trust yourselves. So during these shifts, you're going to need to watch and witness this ensuing change as calmly and as unattached as possible. I know that's easier said than done. I spoke about attachment in my May update, in the new moon update for May with the energy of Venus. So you can always check out that video. The link is down below. That's the new moon for May. Our attachments are something that we're really needing to work with, and Venus is helping us do that. We want to observe the volatility without, falling into the pattern of being reactive and really quickly reactive in our decision making. This is really imperative. Great decisions are arrived at. They are not made impulsively. You need to keep your focus on the truth and what's true for you. And that's a very personal thing on what's resonating for you, because there's a lot of information coming at you. Eclipses bring up a lot of misinformation as well. So I'm going to give you the tools to help you navigate this time. So hang in there with me. Staying present, staying centered, staying calm, being in your heart, pulling back and diving into spiritual practice, whatever that is for you, whether it's nature, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's prayer, whatever it is for you, whatever keeps you centered. So let me remind you, with all the turmoil and the volatility and the unknown, that we are in this paradigm shift, but there's also great things happening as well. There's beauty that's happening in nature. The pause that we've been in is very uncertain and unknown, but it's also given nature that break. Maybe it's brought you closer in some relationships. Maybe you've gotten clearer and discerning about some things. Maybe you've had a time to pull back from something you really didn't want to be doing, so that you can reassess if you're going forward with it and how you're going forward with it. It's an incredibly pivotal time, but it's a deeply emotional time as well. The lunar eclipse, which happens on a full moon, and in Vedic Astrology, yes, this is Vedic Astrology, the sidereal zodiac, it is happening in Scorpio. This is a deeply wise and emotional place. It can be very volatile, and again, we already have enough volatility. So I want you to know that for yourself, so you can really work with and calm your energy. There is deep change with eclipses, and with this lunar eclipse, it is really, it stirs things up, agitates things. So what's not working, what you need to let go of, what's not serving, comes to the surface. But there's a little volatility in that, and sometimes a lot. Think about your jeans when you put them in the washer and they get agitated by the washing machine. Well, you take them out, they look like they went for one hell of a ride, but they're actually clean. Well, that's how you might be feeling, kind of wrung out. And I know I've been feeling that way as well. That's what this energy can do. But there's a way to navigate through. And again, you need to pull back, pull in, stop reaching out for all the information, and come in for your choices, come in for your decisions, drop deep into your heart. It's very important. Now, you will not be seeing this lunar eclipse. It's a partial lunar eclipse. You won't be seeing it from the United States and from most of the parts of South America, but you'll see it from a lot of the world. It's in Vedic Astrology, we have lunar mansions, nakshatras, and this is in Jesta, and it's very close to the fixed star Antares. It's the heart of the Scorpion. Mars has a relationship to here, and that's the honorable warrior, and it is has a bit of the energy of battling for freedom and a support in battling for freedom. So even in the volatility, I want you to know that it's this honorable warrior energy, and we want to keep that energy going towards the light and not choosing the dark. Now, it's a personal decision we make in every moment in all of our decisions, and then collectively we're struggling with that right now. There is a battle for freedom, but we've got the courage for this battle and the ability to and support to rise up and to overcome, social injustice, oppression, defending our rights, but overcoming your own belief systems personally and lack of boundaries even that are holding you back from, keeping you personally in oppression, holding you back from the freedom, from the sovereignty that you're ready for. So this is happening in a specific area of your chart, and there's a link below if you want to get a reading and talk more deeply about this. But this is collectively, you need to look at, what am I really, where do I feel personally oppressed? This is where you need to dig in and clear that energy, clear those beliefs so that you can step past them to the next level, because we've got the support of Mars, the honorable warrior, in Scorpio. Now, the Honorable Warrior is part of the Sacred Wealth Code system, and it rules, its planet is Mars. If you want to take the quiz, and the link is down below, to find out one of your Sacred Wealth Code Archetypes or grab the book, you'll understand more about what I'm talking about. The Honorable Warrior is at its best when it's standing for a truth, and not at its best when it's pushing against. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. So, the nodes of the moon cause the eclipses, and this is they're transformers, and they agitate things in order for us to grow. And that's not always, growing pains. It's not always a comfortable process, but because it means change. So I want you to avoid making any big decisions the day before the eclipse, the day of, and the day after. So for this first eclipse of the month, that is going to be June 4th, 5th, and 6th. No big decisions, okay? In fact, on those days, I want you to clear your schedule as much as you can. Get yourself some meditation time. Get out in nature. Keep things very moderate, nothing extreme. Pull back from the media, and really give yourself more time to settle in to what's coming up for you around what you need to overcome at this point of time, so that you can experience more freedom. Being present and being that eye of the storm, as opposed to, if you're feeling over emotional, you're out in the storm. You've got to come home. You've got to come back to center. Drop your mind into your heart and drop down and really hold that place. We all are looking for life to return to something. It's not ever going to be what life was, the old normal. And I know the new normal is a term that's well overused right now, but we're all, looking for that. What's next, as we've been cooped up at this time. Well, just under the surface are different ways that pathway is going to open. So allow yourself the time to tune into what that's going to be for you. And as some cities and towns are opening up more so, and then we're having a lot of volatility, and what does that actually mean? Really trust yourself on what feels right for you, and who to be with and where to go. And not so much relying on the outer rules around that. As far as the restrictions go, yeah, follow the restrictions, but go with what feels right for you. Be clear on what you're devoted to. Be very clear that you're not being devoted to drama. You're not being devoted to misinformation, that you're not being devoted to dark emotions. All of that can happen with this eclipse and with it being in Scorpio. But you want to step into your devotion, your spiritual devotion, your devotion to raising your consciousness, to your alignment, to being compassionate or kind, whatever your devotion is, to being the leader who you are. I mean, I know you're a change maker if you're here and listening to me right now. Being devoted to your purpose, that would be a deeper devotion. And I have something to help you with that. And there's a link down below. I'm offering a free class, and that's called Decoding the Divine. And it's all about unlocking the secrets of your sacred wealth code to break free and live an abundant life of purpose. I'll help you to learn how to really take you to understand how to trust yourself more, how to understand even what your purpose is, and so much more. You can grab the link for more information, and it's completely free to you. So keep life simple before and after the eclipses. And, travel, most people aren't doing much travel. Not a good time to travel during an eclipse. It's a storm. It's shadowy. It's like dusk. You can't really see everything, and you can't really see all your choices. So don't put yourself under the pressure to have to move around a lot when the floor is really shifting during this time. Do spiritual practice. I've given you some things to do already. It's a time of pulling in and restraint, not a time of pressuring yourself forward. And I know that a lot of you are feeling that pressure. I should be more productive. I should be able to focus. Some days it's hard to strap your brain on, with this energy that's going on. Take the pressure off yourself. If the internal pressure is the energy, you're going to feel it, but let that pressure go, just like a pressure cooker, by letting go, coming back in, clearing the decks. Do not over expect things from yourself or from others. Now we have Mercury moving into Gemini. And now that Mercury's in Gemini, it owns Gemini. It's very happy. Again, I'm talking Vedic astrology. It's happy there, but now it's with the Magician. Now it's with Rahu, the north node of the moon. And this is a mixed combination. And in fact, it'll be a direct alignment when we come into the next eclipse on the 20th, 21st. So this is going to affect your communication right now through the whole month. I want you to hear this. Your communication could be compromised. Seriously, all of it's going to be, has the potential to be distorted. Mercury is the great communicator. It's also the messenger and the merchant. And so when it connects up with the north node of the moon, Rahu, who that's where the solar eclipse is going to be, but is already in that constellation of Gemini, it is going to make your, you'll be quick to react with your communication. You need to slow down and get centered. You'll be more reactive, and we've got an aspect from Mars to intensify that. And you might hear things not as they were meant. You might say things not as you mean them to be. It'll be distorted. So you want to avoid intense conversations. Do not be so quick to get your hands on the keyboard and react to something, whether it's email, whether it's social media. Things can get really distorted in that realm. You need to breathe. You need to ground. You need to get your feet on the ground. I mean that about grounding, so that you're not reactive. You want to respond and not react. Taking 3 breaths before you respond will help get you back to center. These are really basic but powerful things. It's one thing to know something. All of my clients are super conscious, but are closing the gap between what they know and what it is they're actually doing and being, because they know it's possible. So that Magician, that north node of the moon, can really help distort our communication and our ability to discern things. Now, Mercury retrograde is not a bad thing by any means. It is a time where Mercury gets really strong, and it'll go into the retrograde on the 17th of June through July 12th. It's also going to combust the sun on the 26th. What that means is Mercury is going to come into alignment with the sun, and it's not going to be really seen and represented for what Mercury's representational of, which is our intellect and our communication, because the sun is going to be so dominant at that time. So lack of clarity prevails during this time. Clarity that's going to be coming to you from the outer world. The only clarity you're going to find is within. I want to remind you again, no big decisions around that Mercury retrograde either. The day before, day of, day after. So that's the 16th, 17th, 18th. Be careful about that. Also around the 26th, day before, day after. I'm going to do another update this month. I'll remind you of that because I want to talk about the second eclipse separately. There's just so much going on. I want you to be able to digest it. Remember this. Choose the light. In every moment you have a choice, whether to choose the light or to choose the darkness. And if we're choosing darkness, we're choosing from fear. Okay? And you know what it feels like to choose the light, because it does. It feels right in your bones, or it feels lighter, more, it's got that warm buzz to it, or it's more resonant. And when we're not, it's contracting. It feels heavy. There's fear, involved with it. Choose from your smallest choices of the day to what you're putting into your body, how you're responding to something, what you're engaging in. Choose the light. Don't choose from fear. Really just work with that. It'll help you so much. Be aware of the energy that's at play in the world, absolutely. But make sure that you are making your own choices and that you know what your truth is. Know what your purpose really helps you to know what your truth is. Your gifts really help you to know what your truth is. Come back to that, because there's so much information and misinformation both coming at you that's pulling you in a lot of directions, and it's very hard to stay centered. So that's why I'm giving you the guidance I'm giving you today. I'd love to hear how you best stay centered, so put that in the comments below, or what you feel like you're struggling with the most during this time. Add that to the comments below. I'd love to hear what's going on with you at this particular time and to help you out with that. So whatever you choose, remember to choose the light. We can push hard against something, or we can stand in and stand up for something. It's a fine line to those two differences. And I want to invite you to really stand up for and stand for what it is that you want to support, what you want to grow, the change that you want to create and be part of, and spend less time pushing against it. Because when you push against something, it costs you your precious energy. It's like you're giving energy to the other side. When you're standing up for what you're bringing forward, what the truth that you want to move forward in the world, and then you're raising your vibration, you are adding energetic currency to whatever it is you're moving forward. And it's a fine line between the two, so be careful about that. You can't afford to lose any energetic currency, not for your immune system, not for your mind, not for your heart, not for the movement you're here to create in the world and to support in the world. So really watch that. I want to wrap up here with reminding you that we do have Venus in retrograde still. Again, I talked about that in the new moon update for May. And this retrograde is been asking us to let go of our attachments, but now we're having a really, as this eclipse is happening on the 5th, so like the 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the Venus combusts the sun. So the heart is literally being eclipsed in some way. So make sure you're connected to the heart of the divine. Get that meditation practice in. We're reflecting on what relationships are. You're going to want something deeper right now during this time, and it's not going to feel like it's available. That doesn't mean it's always not going to be available. It's just that we've hit the limits right now. So it'll either take, wherever this is hitting you in your chart, this is happening in Taurus in Vedic astrology. It's going to take your relationships deeper in this area of life, or you're going to find out, you know what, this isn't it for me, and you're going to break some of your attachments around that. Do that with heart and compassion for yourself and anybody else involved. We'll also have Mars move into Pisces on the 18th of the month, and that's going to calm Mars and calm some of the social activism down some, so that's a good thing. Pisces is very spiritual placement and is going to bring the Honorable Warrior more into an inside-out sort of an energy instead of just the outside demonstration and fighting the good fight energy. So the next eclipse is on the 20th, 21st, and I will bring you some more information about that. At that time, Mercury retrograde is going to be right with that eclipse. That's going to happen in Gemini in Vedic astrology, and it's really going to uproot some things. These eclipses, they work together. There's a change, and then the next change comes, and it takes it to another level. just hold tight. We're going to get through all of this, and we're going to do it together. So you know your truth, and you keep hooking into your truth, and stand in for what you're standing in for, because all of us are holding a piece of it, and we're going to get through this paradigm shift together. So much love to you. Again, I really appreciate you subscribing, clicking the like, sharing this around to anybody you feel like it would support. Check the links out, lots of resources for you down below. So much love to you. I'll be back soon to give you some more help in charting your path.